All right, I think we got everyone in, so thank you everyone for being here this morning. We really appreciate it. Special thanks to Ranken and Stan for putting this on for us today. There's going to be an amazing tour in about a half hour, and if you haven't seen the Ranken facility, I guarantee it'll blow your mind. How many acres, Stan? 23 acres of everything you can see, from automotive to technology to manufacturing to home building. It's just amazing. There are literally homes on the property that they have built. So by show of hands, how many people are going to attend that tour? Somebody get a count in the back. I'm going to say that it's about 35. Yeah. Great, thank you. So we'll introduce Stan here and get things rolling. But before we start, I would like to introduce our sponsors and make sure we give them some recognition. There is a table out front with some sponsor information on it if you have not seen that. They are the reason that you're drinking coffee, that you're here today, that you're eating bagels or pastries or anything. Special thanks to Paul Klug, if you could raise your hand, please. Paul is the reason that you're all drinking coffee this morning, so thank you, Paul. So just to run through, we got Lapata Flegal, Mike, I know you're in the room, or back in the room here. Parkside, do we have anybody from Parkside here today? I don't believe they were able to make it. Black Twig, I know Tom's here. Tom Gaddy here in the back. Pulcinelli, that's Paul, that's your coffee and bagel guy. Swift Systems, the Swift Systems guys were the two that were handing stuff to you as you walked in the door. CMA, I know we got Jay here, great. And then Atomic Revenue. I know we got Glenn here, there's Glenn, great. And I think that's everybody. So once again, thanks to them, and they're the reason that we can put this whole thing on, so we really appreciate their support. So I would like to talk about Stan now and the Ranken location that we're at today. So Ranken President Stan Schoen brings a background of military service, a degree in aeronautical engineering, and a long career in technical education to his position. Embarking on a second career in education after retiring from the U.S. Navy in 1996, Schoen served most recently as the Vice President of Workforce Development and Continuing Education at Central Virginia Community College, CVCC, in Lynchburg, Virginia, and also served as that college's Dean of Math, Science, and Engineering. Before CVCC, Schoen served as the director of the A. Linwood Holton Governor's School in Southwest Virginia, providing oversight for the day-to-day operations of a virtual school for gifted and talented students. The school provided math, science, and engineering classes to 38 high schools in 12 school districts in Southwest Virginia. Schoen holds a Master's of Science degree in Aeronautical Engineering from the Naval Postgraduate School and a Bachelor's of Science degree cum laude from East Tennessee State University, where he majored in political science, public administration, and education. He is also a graduate of the Naval War College, where he studied political science and international affairs. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we could please welcome Stan.
It's almost embarrassing. Let's see if we can get this microphone to work here.
Am I on? Very good. Welcome to Ranken. We greatly appreciate you being here. I don't stand in one spot, and I usually don't use a microphone, but my throat's a little scratchy, so we thought we'd try it today. Good instructors always start out by telling you what I want you to kind of see in the next 30 minutes or so, because I got about 30 minutes. I'm going to tell you what's wrong, hopefully show you some things that are right, then give you guys a chance to do a little Q&A and see if you can stump me a little bit. And then we're going to try and get you out on the campus, because I got to tell you, we're different, but it's in a good way, and it's not the regular school tour that you would see, I guarantee it. So appreciate the time and energy that you put into being here today. Two things I want you to remember as you leave. I call them the workforce myths. First myth is God bless politicians. And oh, by the way, every time you see a politician, whether it's city, state, national, the first thing they're going to say is, we're going to create more jobs. We're going to create more jobs. I got news for you guys. We don't need more jobs. In this region, in any given day, there are 20,000 unfilled jobs. And that's true nationwide. We can't fill the jobs that we have. So why would I want to create more jobs? What we need to create is an educated workforce with the skills that you guys need to fill the jobs that we have. The second myth is, oh, by the way, everybody needs to go to college. And I use that term, by the way, we are a 2- and 4-year college here, but everybody needs to go to college. Our entire education system has been set up to send everybody to get a 4-year degree. The sad part about that is that the fact is that 80 to 90% of all jobs will require education beyond high school, but 75% of the population will not achieve a 4-year degree, but we don't do anything for them. We assume that everybody is going to go out and find a career. Everybody's going to have a skill. And oh, by the way, 25% are going to go on. They're going to get their bachelor's, master's, or PhD, which is great. We need engineers, we need doctors, we need lawyers, we need accountants. But we also need more technicians. And until we grasp that, we're going to continue to be mediocre across the board. I need this. First thing I will tell you is that the good old days are dead, guys. The time when you guys could come to a job fair, recruit, keep that person for 50 years and do a single job is gone. Get over it. It's not happening. And if that's how you expect to get your workforce, shut your doors. It's that simple. And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, manufacturing and technology is coming back, and it's coming back like a tornado. It's coming back at such a pace, we can't keep track of it. We can't keep up with it. As a matter of fact, us baby boomers, us old guys, we're going to get out of the workforce. We constitute 40% of the technical workforce. And the numbers just aren't back behind us. It's not the idea that you just got to go out and turn more rocks and find them. They're not under the rocks anymore. So the bottom line is the numbers are crazy across the board. We are actually, the boomers actually right now about 70 million strong, and we're trying to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know what you guys are going to do unless we do something different across the board. Merrick, which is the Missouri group, talks to industry all the time, and I talk to industry all the time. You guys talk to industry all the time. The number one challenge that most industry sees isn't finding more work, it's finding a stable workforce to do the work. We've got to address that again if we're going to move the economy forward across the board. Not only is the incoming workforce a problem, but the idea of the retraining. The bottom line is technology is doubling every 2 to 3 years, which means things that are being taught right now are going to be obsolete in 2 to 3 years. So retraining is going to be a constant. So not only are you trying to find a replacement force, but you're also trying to keep your current workforce current. And all of this requires, again, education, training, that type of thing. And it's not just St. Louis, it's not just Missouri, it's nationwide and it's international. Other countries are having the exact same problems. I was lucky enough to live and work in England for a while. Their strategic workforce plan was hire Americans. If they're hiring Americans, that means they're competing directly with you for that exact same workforce across the board. This is a little chart of the numbers locally, and again, since I'm local, we do it. But notice that in the low-skilled, the workers, there's an excess. Notice in the high-skilled, the workers, there's an excess. Notice in the middle-skilled, there's a delta. What does that tell you? That means we're not focused. We're not doing what we need to produce the workforce for you all. And oh, by the way, things are getting more complicated. Things are moving forward, again, as far as technology and education, and everything is becoming more and more technical, but yet we're actually producing less technical students. Does anybody know what the number one major in college is right now? You guys got to talk a little bit back. Psychology is the number one major in college. Now, do you guys really think we need all these psychology majors out in the workforce? The answer is no. You know, again, it's one of those things we've got to refocus, redirect. And oh, by the way, on top of all that, and I just throw this in because it's an interesting fact, is right now, all these people going to school are incurring a tremendous amount of debt. Oh, by the way, the student loan programs is about $1.4 trillion right now, and the default rate is going up every day. So literally, at some point, this is going to fall apart. I don't know when it is, but we've got to figure out how to counter that, how to give the students the ability to get an education without incurring the debt. I'm not going to actually watch that one. Let me tell you a little bit about Ranken very quickly. We are a private, not for-profit, and I'll re-say that because a lot of people somehow think we're a for-profit. We are not. And we are a fully accredited 2- and 4-year college. So if you didn't know those things, take that away because those are very important facts. I will tell you that we live and die by our numbers here. We place 96% of our kids within 6 months of graduation. I will once again point out to you this idea that we need more jobs. We'll have our job fair. We have 2 job fairs a year here at my campus for my students and alumni only. My next job fair is actually in April, about 6-8 weeks away. We'll have over 400 companies here for our job fair. They're here for 900 kids. 400 companies here for 900 kids. Don't tell me there's no jobs out there. There are a ton of jobs out there. What is needed, again, is a skilled workforce. We have 87% of our kids receive some type of financial aid. That's important because, again, one of the things that we try to do is empower the kids to go to school, to get an education without incurring a large amount of debt. We make a reference to it as return on investment. I was talking with Don, and where's Don at? He's in here somewhere. Don, when I get done, you get to tell him what your analysis is. But the bottom line is that a return on investment is extremely important to young people in their careers. How long are they going to take to pay back the money that they spend getting that career is a definite impact on the economy overall. People ask what makes us a little bit different. A couple of things do. One of the things is, first of all, if you look at how we do our education, first of all, very hands-on. You'll see that as you walk around. For every hour in theory, there's 3 hours of actually doing. And we don't fake work, we actually do work, as somebody mentioned. We build houses, we build cars, we do a lot of production here for industries. Those are things that we think are essential in training the workforce. We do general education because we do give accredited degrees, both associate's degrees and bachelor's degrees. But we also have a work ethic component. And again, we think it's a very valuable piece, and we've been doing this for 110 years. As you walk around the campus, you'll notice that most of the students look very much like I do as far as being dressed. Most of them are in polos, they have khakis on, they have haircuts. They get a grade on their work ethic every day. 5 core components, they're evaluated on it, their grade goes down. At the end of the semester, their grade goes on their transcript. If they do not pass their work ethic grade, they don't graduate. We don't argue about it, we don't debate it. That is an essential core component of the next generation of workforce. And I got to tell you, I talk to CEOs all the time, and I ask them, what is the number one thing that you want out of your workforce? And what they'll tell me is this: find me somebody that'll show up and wants to work. The rest of this stuff we'll take care of. If that's the number one thing, why don't we do more to emphasize it to the upcoming students? We don't do that. I don't know where we think this next generation is going to get their work ethic, but until we do something to focus it, till we do something to help promote it, they're not going to have it. So that's a very important, essential piece for us across the board. The other thing, again, very much about real work, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, but I'll show you a real quick clip of Ranken.
Ranken Technical College is located in St. Louis, Missouri. For over 100 years, the private, nonprofit college has offered hands-on training in a variety of technical fields. Ranken's campus is contained on more than 1 million square feet of land and includes an innovative 10-building complex dedicated to providing the best in technical education. From the original Cook Hall to the brand-new Mary Ann Lee Technology Center, each of our buildings is designed to house our multi-million-dollar technical labs and shop spaces, vital for keeping our students on the cutting edge of new technology. Ranken's newest campus addition, Walker Hall, provides our students with a modern living space in the heart of campus. Walker Hall residents live in spacious dorm rooms with easy access to our dining hall, gym, and many recreational spaces. Ranken's focus is on training students for careers in technical fields. The college has 5 core academic divisions. Our automotive division has 3 programs: automotive collision repair, automotive maintenance, and high-performance racing technology. Students in the automotive division work with the latest in green and sustainable technology, as well as having the opportunity to work in internships with many area car dealers, parts suppliers, and body shops. Our construction division is comprised of 5 departments, including architecture, carpentry, and building construction, plumbing, HVAC, and our newest program, major appliance technology. All of these programs take place in state-of-the-art lab and shop spaces dedicated to familiarizing students with the industry standard tools and equipment they'll need on the job. Multiple career options plus tremendous flexibility are just a few of the advantages of the electrical division, consisting of 3 programs: control systems technology, electrical automation technology, and electrical systems design technology. This division offers students the expertise and hands-on training necessary to meet the growing needs of companies with electronic control and distribution systems. From installing and maintaining basic electrical systems to operating an entire facility through an electronically controlled network, the Electrical Technology Division presents students with countless opportunities. The Information Technology Division offers students an unparalleled education and intensive hands-on experience to prepare them for successful fast-track careers. All IT students begin in a common first semester that focuses on desktop operating systems and teaches them how to use computers and networks as resources. Students spend time learning the unique features and benefits of each career field available to them and can choose between 4 track options offering specialized training in various career options, depending on their interests. In the manufacturing division, students can learn everything from techniques used in large-scale industrial operations to the precision required to fabricate the smallest machine part. Students can choose to study industrial technology, precision machining, or welding and fabrication technology. Ranken is accredited by the Higher Learning Commission and offers associate and bachelor's degrees, as well as a variety of continuing education and evening program certificate options. The college also offers distance learning, and in some cases, students can get academic credit for on-the-job experience. But Ranken's impressive lineup of academic programs is only part of the picture. Ranken is also an active and involved member of the community, supporting many local neighborhood improvement projects. The Ranken Community Development Corporation has built more than 50 homes in the area surrounding campus, providing on-site training for our students, as well as quality, affordable housing to local residents. Ranken also holds summer academies each year for middle and high school students. These camps introduce students to our high-tech fields of study and allow them to access our multi-million-dollar labs and shop spaces. During camp, students complete projects that ignite their interest in technical careers such as building go-karts and Lego robots, learning to design and create jewelry on CNC equipment, and learning to use airbrushes and other paint equipment. When high school students are considering enrolling at Ranken, they can take advantage of one of our many student-centered events, which include Shadow a Tech Days, which allow them to decide which career option is right for them. Students who need extra assistance either before or after they enroll at Ranken can take advantage of our TRIO Student Support Services and Student Achievement Center for tutoring, study skills, and mentoring. Graduates from Ranken typically enjoy a 96 to 98% job placement rate within 6 months of graduation and benefit from lifelong placement assistance. Demand for graduates is high, with some majors averaging 12 job opportunities per graduate and starting salaries averaging from $30,000 to $49,000 depending on major. Think Ranken might be the right place for you? Arrange a campus tour and find out if you're Ranken material. For more information, visit our website at ranken.edu or call us toll-free at 866-4RANKEN.
So that was just a real quick overview of what we do. Again, we have 16 areas that we emphasize, and where that's important is this. We've always focused on the workforce, the jobs. We have never deviated from it. You go to the community college, they have 120 programs. We do 16 things well. 120 is hard to do in any stretch of the imagination. We think that this is the future of not only this region, but the workforce as a whole. A quote from our benefactor, the person that established Ranken, which was David Ranken about 110 years ago. My quote is in my charter. My job is to teach the dignity of labor. And my quote back behind it is, the best way to train for work is work. Why simulate it? Why fake it? So to do that, we've instigated a few things that are very work-based orientated. Apprenticeships. All you guys are very familiar with apprenticeships. Apprenticeships have been around for 100 years. Apprenticeships is basically the idea of us integrating both training and education together simultaneously and in partnerships with industry. We currently have about 8 apprenticeship programs that we support. I probably support in the realm of about 400 apprentices right now. We're probably one of the biggest apprentice shops in the state itself. The other is micro-enterprises. We'll talk about that in a little bit in just a second, but a micro-enterprise is literally just a reverse apprenticeship. A lot of industries are not big enough or for whatever reason don't want to engage in apprenticeships for a lot of reasons. But what we found out is that the actual work-based learning is essential. So what we've done is instead of us sending a body to the industry, there are industries that send their work here. We have about 14 micro enterprises on campus right now. We do everything from build biotech equipment, houses, cars, machine parts. We do 2 call centers. There's a wide variety of things that we do in direct support of industry as a training project across the board. And I'll show you kind of the net result of that in just a second. We're very strategically orientated. One of the things that we figured out very quickly, that if I'm right here, and this is my emphasis, I'm going to miss the boat because too many decisions have been made, good and bad, by students. So we put a lot of time in what we call our in-school pipeline, all the way down to middle school, but also what we call our out-of-school pipeline. This is, I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out the numbers don't match, guys. There's less people back behind us, and unless we engage both this pipeline and this pipeline, you guys won't have a workforce in 10 years. And so we have put a lot of time, energy, and resources in developing both of those across the board. Apprenticeships, we already talked a little bit about that. I'll run you a quick clip
At
on
Ranken
that.
Technical College, our mission is simple. We don't just prepare our students to get jobs. We teach the problem-solving skills and work ethic that they need to build successful careers. Today's manufacturing industry is driven by skilled workers and innovative technology. From robotics to welding and control systems to CNC machining, we focus on hands-on training for the fields that will make up tomorrow's workforce. And at Ranken, we're constantly working with the industry to make sure that we're giving our students the most effective training possible.
I have friends that went straight from high school into the workforce, and I know that by going to Ranken, that I'll have a better opportunity to advance in the company, because here I know I get the best training on the equipment, and I get to learn from people who have spent their lives in the industry.
We've structured our advanced manufacturing program to give students the opportunity to earn while they learn, with internships at top manufacturers.
In the advanced manufacturing program, we learn in the classroom from knowledgeable teachers who want to see me succeed, and I get hands-on experience in the shop, and then I get to use those skills in the real world through the internship program.
My time here at Ranken and the time that I've spent out in my internships have really prepared me for the workforce by really presenting me with the challenges that I'm going to face when I'm out in the industry.
Alternating between 8 weeks of Ranken and 8 weeks of their internships, our students have the opportunity to apply what they learned in the classroom and the shop to a real-world job setting.
From the first day that I stepped out of this door and I went to work at a machine shop outside of Ranken, I was picking up calipers, I was checking parts, I was making parts, I was running machines, so pretty much every aspect that I learned from Ranken, I was applying the first day.
The employers who participate in our internship program get to start early in training their future workforce. Our manufacturing internship program has successfully matched many Ranken students with employers who are looking for the perfect mix of skills, experience, and professionalism.
For us, it's getting from receipt of order to delivery of first order faster, having bright people that can walk up to the machine and play well with others. That's critical.
Our employer partners also benefit from an ongoing pipeline of top-notch interns who are teachable, knowledgeable, and ready to start their career as soon as they graduate from Ranken.
In the time that Ranken has been here, we've had 11 interns. 7 of those work for us right now. 5 of them are permanent employees. 2 of them have transitioned to our NC programming department. They've had a big impact.
That's why manufacturers compete to recruit Ranken Manufacturing School students. Employers know that every Ranken student has the hands-on experience and technological expertise they need to succeed.
We benefit tremendously because we end up having skilled people.
It's a good feeling to know that people want me to be skilled and want me to have a better look at this industry, because it's always changing and it's always growing.
Are you ready to learn more about the opportunities offered through Ranken's manufacturing programs? Contact us today.
So it referred to 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off. Most of our programs are set up so that there is a educational sequence and then an intern sequence. So I'll give you a good example, automotive. I have about 400 automotive students. I'm the Midwest trainer for Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, Chrysler, Audi, and Subaru. And literally all our students are on what we call 8 weeks in, 8 weeks out. That means for 8 weeks are with us, and then they'll rotate back to a sponsoring dealership within the 8-state area. and they'll work for 8 weeks. They're getting paid while they're working, but they're also learning. They'll keep that up for 2 years. At the end of 2 years, they will get their associate's degree with 90 credit hours. They will also get their Department of Labor apprentice certification. They will have up to 10 ASE certifications because industry certifications are very important to us. So they'll have 10 ASE certifications, including master mechanic. But more importantly, they will have worked for that dealer for 1 full year. And that is the beginning of a long-term relationship. And we've had 100% placement between our sponsored students and the sponsoring dealership. That's how you get your next workforce. You don't come at the end, you get involved at the beginning. And that's what we emphasize. We have 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off, 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off, 16 weeks on, 16 weeks off. We design it so that it is beneficial both for the student and the employers across the board. Manufacturing, micro enterprises. This whole idea of the reverse apprenticeship has grown so much that we have 14 companies right now. I have others that want to do this. They want to send us work. That's all that this is. We get the work here, we do it here. As a matter of fact, if you walk 30 feet that way, you'll see a biotech group, BioMaryU. I do 9 of their product lines here with my students. It's an FDA-approved laboratory. We generate tens of thousands of parts for them. That is an essential piece of it. So if we don't send them out, we put them to work here. We're okay with that across the board. This has become so popular that we now have 7 new companies that want to join in the city. And so we are building a brand new manufacturing facility right outside my main gate. It will house basically 7 new companies, each in their own work cells, each producing product or services with my students. We think this is the future. This isn't, by the way, a pipe dream. This is started. This is paid for. This is done. All we got to do is get it up and running. As a matter of fact, a couple of my partners are in the audience right now. It will have a wide variety of infrastructure inside, but more importantly, we will be producing that product or services that is essential for that company. If you take a look at it, these are some of the companies that will set up there. Emerson, Watlow, Nidec, Kimco Aerospace, GWR, and Grunt, and also Enterprise Car will be in the building itself. Think about it. And again, this is kind of the future. I've got 6 or 7 companies that do not have a presence in the city right now. They're coming here. They will basically set up and start doing product or services with about 100 to 150 students annually, who are getting paid, by the way. And oh, by the way, we'll be producing between $4 and $5 million in products for those companies for this training sequence. They not only get the product and services, but they get the trained workforce back behind them. And my students get financial support and experience doing it. I don't know a better way of doing it. A lot of you guys are into basically economic development. I will tell you this, in 12 weeks, I'll graduate 900 students. 97% of them will be working within 6 months. They'll be making the average salary between $36,000 and $39,000 a year. And oh, by the way, they're going to stay locally. Blue collar workers don't travel well. That means I'm generating $28 million a year, every year on the tax rolls. If you guys got a better economic plan, please tell me what it is. Please tell the mayor. Please tell the governor. Because that is the future. I say it all the time, and I'm very sincere about it. This city, this state, this nation was built on a blue-collar workforce. And for us to get bigger, better, expand, whatever you want to call it, we need a blue-collar technical workforce. And Ranken's got to be a part of that. That's the end of my talk. Believe me, you guys just got an hour's worth in about 25 minutes. I'll answer any questions. Before I do, Don, stand up and tell them what you told me real quick, and speak up.
So I was telling Stan, about 8 years ago, I had a daughter at Mizzou, and I had my own company, and I hired 3 Ranken grads, and I couldn't believe what I had to pay them. And I did a financial analysis. I looked at what I was paying for the Mizzou education, and I looked at how much the Ranken education cost, how much I was paying the employees, and how much an average Mizzou grad made. And if you run that out, it takes 17 years for a Mizzou grad to catch a Ranken grad, and that's making some pretty soft assumptions on the Mizzou side and some pretty hard assumptions on the Ranken side. So these guys are doing it and doing it right.
Questions? Come on, I'm good, but I'm not that good.
How many graduates
Between 900 and 950.
Okay.
And that's been pretty solid across the board. It doesn't change too often. I have an 83% graduation rate, so it's pretty consistent across the board.
How big would you like to be?
We have built the strategic plan for this facility. By the way, I have 3 campuses. This is one of them. This is the main facility. This is 23 acres and about 1 million square feet, but I have one in Winsville and I have one in Perryville, Missouri. We have built this campus to accommodate 5,000.
So what's your biggest challenge in running the whole thing?
The biggest challenge, honest and truly, in the whole education workforce development thing is getting more kids engaged. And that takes on a very broad concept. Again, you know, the fallacy is that every parent wants their kid to do better, and for the boomers, that was to go to college. And we got this idea that everybody's going to go to four-year college. The entire K-12 system is set up to send kids to college. And I'll say it again, folks, 75% of those students will not go. 1.4 million kids started school last September. 50% of them will drop out in the first year, 25% the next 4 years. That's not me making this up. That is 6 decades of historical data. So how are we doing these kids a favor by sending them all to college and 50%, 700,000 drop out in the first year, and they don't have a clue where they're going or how they're going to get there? How is that a good thing? I haven't figured that out yet. So getting more kids involved, which also involves getting kids' parents convinced that this is the future. This is great jobs. This young man's son, and by the way, Mr. Poe has been at this school since he was a student here, and his son just graduated, just started work for Nucor Steel. He's got a associate's degree, 2 years out of high school, and basically he's making high 50s as a starting job. Don't tell me that there's not opportunity. Don't tell me there's not jobs out there. There are tons of them. We just got to refocus on what we think are a priority.
Is there an upper age limit that someone can enroll? I mean, somebody in the 20s?
What's our oldest? Do you have any idea? I know it's better than 65.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no age limit.
Nah. What we're finding is a lot of, I'm middle-aged, everybody's middle-aged to me, but a lot of the middle-aged groups are coming back for retraining. A lot of the job skills, a lot of the technologies are obsolete, so a lot of them are coming back. 65% of my students are what we call 18, 19 out of high school. 35% of them are older. The average age is probably 29, 30, married, got 2 kids. So we have both demographics working, and both of them are absolutely essential. Tom?
If a manufacturer is interested in a specific training program to bring people up to speed and in, what's their first step?
Give me a call. Give Don a call. Basically, Don is my executive vice president, but also does all my academics. I'm always looking for industry partners. I'm always looking for students. I'm always looking at something as simple as we run 16 advisory committees. And the advisory committees tell us what we need to be focusing on. That's how we stay. It's kind of funny. I make the joke all the time. There's education time and there's industry time, and those are 2 different times. And oh, by the way, industry don't want to do it a year from now. They want to do it yesterday. So we try and stay very attuned to industry. So we're always looking for those connections. Micro enterprises. I tell industry all the time. If you're worried about your next generation of workforce, engage with us and help grow your next generation. That's how you're going to get your next generation of workforce.
Yeah, it seems to me, I work for Young Dental. We have 80% of the people, our machinists, come from Ranken, the older generation. And we've interviewed a lot of young kids for machinist jobs, but they're production machinist jobs. And we just can't seem to get, I think their dreams are higher than, tool maker, mold maker, but we really struggle with hiring Ranken young kids from school. Usually our machinists are older, they go at night, they second career,
Yep.
boom, they work great. But we struggle with the young kids wanting that top pay and.
Welcome to the millennium generation.
Yeah,
You know, that's the millenniums as a whole, but I will also tell you, as the workforce gets smaller, it's only going to get worse. You know, and this is just an off-the-cuff observation, staff those positions with apprentices. You know, grow them into your company, grow them into those other positions. That's what an apprentice program is basically using the lower skilled trainee to do those jobs of production that don't require that skill level across the board. And oh, by the way, pick and choose the ones you want. I'll give you a good example. You know, BioMaryU is an FDA biotech equipment area that we do production. I have 15, 16, 17 kids working in there. BioMaryU is only going to hire one of them. But guess which one that one's going to be? The best one that fits their culture, that has their skills, that understands. The other 15 did production for them. Okay, no harm, no foul. You know, the company got production, and oh, by the way, the kids got experience and support, and oh, by the way, they found the number one that they're going to fit across the board. The old ways are gone, guys. I can't, you know, it's the new generation, the new world. Back in the back.
I just have a quick question, relating similar to his question, regarding pay.
Yeah.
Lots of St. Louis, lots of small manufacturers, lots of small machinist shops. They're not willing to pay. They still think they can find welders for $10 an hour.
Yep.
How do you address that? Because the Rankin kids have a right to come out and say, I'm
Yeah.
worth X.
I don't have to address it. I mean, that's called capitalism, supply and demand. I mean, yeah, the bottom line is at some point, they're going to figure out they can't get that $10 an hour student anymore, and they're going to have to adjust. You know, it's not something I dictate. It's the whole idea of supply and demand. You know, there are a ton of jobs out there, and the students have the right to shop their skills and get the best price for their skills. You know, again, that's called capitalism. And everybody's going to have to adjust. And I'll keep saying it over and over. It's only going to get worse. It's not getting better. Numerically, the numbers are against it getting better.
How does the Ranken training adapt to the automobile industry changes, electric, hybrid?
By keeping the industries, I mean, if you go over and look, I have over 200 brand new cars on this campus. The industries make sure I have the latest and the greatest. Again, I am the Midwest trainer for Ford, GM, Toyota, Honda, Chrysler, Audi. These guys want me to make sure my students have the latest and greatest technologies. So, you know, we respond to them. We also do a lot of industry training. Most of my instructors during the summer are all out somewhere being trained in the latest and the greatest. So keeping up with both technology and the training is a joint partnership between my school and the industries that we serve. I couldn't do it by myself.
What's your competition like for admission? How many applications and what's your acceptance?
We're as close to open enrollment as you can get. We require that the students have either a GED or a high school diploma. We test them using an ACT product called Compass for reading and mathematics skills for placement, not for entrance. And basically from there, if they have an interest and a desire to be here, we're going to make it work.
What percentage of your entering students require remedial?
48%, which is nationwide. That's not necessarily bad for St. Louis or bad for the state. Nationwide, 48% of the kids that come out of high school, folks, cannot read and write at skill level.
Mizzou's requirement for remedial education is very high, which I don't understand why our premier campus would be receiving students and entering them when they need remedial work. I understand why you do, because you fill that function.
Because the business model of state schools is based upon butts in the seat, FTE. So if your business model is based upon FTE, why would you turn anybody away?
Right, but it's wrong.
I'm not arguing right or wrong. I'm telling you why they do that. But I will also once again say it. 48% of the kids coming out of high school nationwide cannot read and write at skill level, which means 12th grade level. That's part of the overall problem across the board. And oh, by the way, we talk about global competition. We're 29th in the world in mathematics and 26th in reading. as a nation. So don't tell me we're doing it right, because we're not.
What type of soft skill training do you incorporate to complement the technical aspect?
Well, first of all, the work ethic component in itself, 5 core components, what are they?
Positive attitude and approach, respect for workplace structure, honesty, putting craftsmanship into their work, professionalism. We grade our students every day on those type skills. We also then incorporate general education, which includes all of the other soft skills, you know, how to behave, how to dress. We constantly train them. They have to successfully complete all 3 components to graduate from Ranken.
Plus, you know, again, general education, communications, English, technical writing, all those things are all very essential as far as part of the overall student across the board. Tom has given me the thumbs up. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's the end of it. Thank you guys for being here. Again, if you have any wants, desires, questions, please don't hesitate to contact either myself or Mr. Poe. And believe me, we're always looking for that partner, that good partner out there. Thank you, Tom, for having us here today.